Is Kirroh gonna get back anytime soon? Hey. Hello?
Yo.
Hello?
Ask Mango.
Why was Mango now?
He has his private number.
Oh.
Who has
Does he
a
really?
private-
That's gay.
Like his premium snap?
Speaking of, I have Razzle's private number because for some reason he's like, yeah, I don't care. Here, you can have it.
Okay. We are going live in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
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 Hi, Warriors.
Yeah.
I just heard High Warrior.
We've been live for a little bit, and it's just been non-talk silence.
Hi, Warriors.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sideboard Chat podcast. My name is Alpha Wookie, and we've got two guests, Orange and Astrom Cross, on the podcast. Please, everybody, leave silence for them.
No!
Hi, welcome. Hi.
Hello. It's so good to have both of you on. I felt bad about this whole situation because we promised Kai that he'd get to be the guest first, and Orange is just like, invite me on the podcast. I've got a game I want to talk about. Please do it. It's like we got Kai first, and we kept canceling on Kai like every single time. I mean me.
What a butthole.
Who's Kai?
Yeah.
I don't know who the
I
fuck
am
Kai
Kai.
is.
Astrom
Dude.
Cross.
Oh, High Warrior.
Who? Oh my god.
All right, hey Orange, can you say that thing about what's the best Sinnoh Pokemon again?
It's Luxray.
No, not
it's
true. It's Electivire.
Why though?
Best one is Torterra.
Okay, fair enough.
No, Luxray has best design and it carries you through the entire game. So,
No.
well, not best, but it's up there.
No.
It really is. That's a furry ass motherfucker.
not. Why are all the furries the best ones?
Because
They're
Pokemon
the
likes the
best
furry
design.
bait.
Nobody said that, Mango. Do we want to talk?
No. You know it's true. I don't have
Mango's
to
a
say it.
furry.
You see it. Nah!
I bet he
I'm
wakes to the
tired.
Lucario.
I'm
He wakes to
tired.
the Lucario.
Shut the fuck up. What about Ms. Magus?
Eh.
The fuck? She's not a furry.
Ms. Magius isn't good since when? Like, I like ghost types, but like...
Yo, if you slap a Specs on her, she rips through teams.
Okay. So what
maybe I'll try it out. Like,
But
on
she's got a
Showdown or
hat.
something.
I like
Anyway,
how we
isn't this a
We
TCG
we already started
Yeah.
off.
Shush. This is no. Shush.
Pokemon is a TCG.
There we go. Thank you, Kai.
Yeah, but we
Thank
talk
you.
about the game.
Fine. What do you want to
Let's
talk
talk
about?
about the best
Tomorrow?
HTTP.
I don't know.
in
Talk
the
about what you
world.
want. I don't care.
Chaos. Yeah. Oh, wait. What?
Dude, if I were to be on a podcast talking about Nose Pass, the Nose Pass podcast, I'd be pretty happy.
We make the
The Nose Cast.
Let's
thank
just,
you. The nose cast.
The Nose
Well,
Cast.
you've heard of Yogg's cast. Now we're here with the nose.
fine. It's not
For April Fools, can we just be the Nose Cast?
I suppose we kind of missed that window.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, there's always another April Fools, you buffoon.
Ik bin hell.
Shut the fuck up. That's Dutch for I'm horny. He's been saying it all day.
Dude, funny.
Yeah, hilarious. All right, everybody. So, before we get the podcast kind of kicked off, if that's not exactly what we've been doing from the beginning, I'd like to announce that Oversoul is having another tournament. So,
Yay!
yeah! Everybody play. Everybody play
excited.
nature, light nature, and you win.
Nature is a horrible color. I mean, yeah. So yeah, the tournament's on May 2nd. It starts
Play water.
on May 2nd. water is actually better now. Anyways.
Yeah, because it's got frogs in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More frogs,
I'm
more
about to
power.
add turtles. I'm about to add turtles.
Yeah,
Shut
but
the
turtles are
fuck up.
gay.
Get outta
Frogs are
here.
better.
Fire water turtles.
Wait, fucking turtles are just frogs with shells, Slothe. You know it.
That is not true. Turtles are a reptile. And frog are amphibian.
No, they're not. They're amphibians and frogs are reptiles.
No,
get your
turtles-
alphabet right, sir. Get your alphabet right. Nah, bro.
I mean, to be fair, if you gave Torterra's shell to Venusaur, they would be the same.
No. Frog hop. Turtle go.
Yeah. What were we talking about? I
We were
forgot.
talking
I'm
about
already-
your tournament that you're holding on May 3rd.
Oh, yeah. On I think no. It's on May 2nd. It's a Swiss tournament. Each round will take like a week long, so that people can schedule with their opponent when they want to actually
How can
play
you
their
get
game.
away with a game taking a week to play?
Well, the thing
Gonzalez
is,
did it.
exactly, and also,
Sounds like
if everyone finishes their matches, we can end the round early, then start the new round. So that's how I'm going to do it. Like our last tournament, top two. Now I'm doing it depending on how many players are actually in the tournament, but top two gets to create their own card, and but if there's more than 6 people playing, then top three gets to create their own card. There's some if you join the server, there's roles that you get and some other knick-knack, paddywhacks, and whatnot. And there's more information in the Discord server if you're interested. But
By the way, Doom Takum asks, "What is this game you speak of?"
who?
Doom Takum. He's my friend Lucas.
Okay.
Look, this game is called Oversoul. It's better than Pizza.
Ooh.
Lucas doesn't
Ooh.
know that because I fucking threw that shit in the garbage.
No,
It's called
it's
Raccoon Pizza now.
yeah. It's like if Cardfight Vanguard and Duel Master had a baby, and then somebody added steroids because they wanted the child to grow fast.
I swear this is a podcast with guests on it. We're about to let them talk.
Okay.
All right. Kai, I remember we had a reason we were inviting you on the podcast at one point, but it's lost. It's so lost. Why are you here?
Well, I guess you guys said. Well, you guys have some themes for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so basically we have Kai and Orange on because they're people we kind of highly respect as TCG creators. Orange still, I don't know if he's still running his Pillar TCG. He's in the middle of creating a sports TCG, something that's interesting enough to have a video on its own.
Is
But-
the sport
Better
bowling?
is because I'm giving him hard.
Yeah.
I just want to see how it works.
Wait, you're supplying the art, Kai?
He's giving me
I
stuff
have
for
given him
pillars.
some
Oh.
some parts for pillars. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah, and Kai just knows everything about TCG, so we thought they would be the perfect guests to just have on for this podcast topic, which would be, does your game want to live, and how do you keep it alive? So today, what we want to be discussing is, why do games die? Everyone knows a game that was
Oh
innovative.
no, I'm being called out. Oh god, I'm being called out.
We all know a game that was innovative, fun, and had a huge player base, but just decided to contract whatever made Maz's dad not love him anymore. Why do these games die?
I'm sorry. Whoa, that just went over my head. What?
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. The games contract whatever decided to make Maz's dad not love him anymore.
God.
Where?
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 I'm saying
He's
you're
saying Maz's
abandoned.
mom had an STD.
Oh my.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you, Kirroh. That's also Kirroh, who's on the podcast. I'm just trying to ask,
Like,
like, what causes a fan base and a player base to collapse? And how do we learn from these mistakes? Ultimately, the podcast is going to be how do we keep our games alive when we get them off the ground?
I would say one of the reasons would be player interaction, like interacting with the fan base.
Yes. Are we talking about HTCGs or are we talking about TCGs in general?
TCGs in general. Like, have you heard of like what happened to Duelist?
Oh,
What
that
the
was
heck is
sad.
Duelist?
Fucking Duelist was the shit.
It was so good.
No. Like, there were like about 6 factions to choose from, and just each faction felt unique and just had a different play style. And it was a board piece game, but it was online, and your units would move and attack and things like that. But like something happened and the game collapsed. Like, it was a really popular game for a while that I was really into, and it just collapsed. Like, I can't get on the servers anymore. They just don't pay for them anymore. Like the fan base just dropped off and they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I think so. Personally, I didn't play too much Duelist, but did you guys ever play Might and Magic Duel of Champions?
What's that?
No, I've never even heard of that.
So this was, I think, like 2013. So way back when. It was on Steam, and it was a Might and Magic card game, and it utilized the lane mechanic. So you could attack your opponent directly if they didn't control one of the 5 lanes you controlled. And so you had to use lanes and ranged attacks, and it was really cool and interesting. And then just randomly one day, it just completely shut down. And there's no sign of it coming back alive ever.
Really? Yeah, so
All
like,
right.
it's spooky
Sounds like
because
what
sometimes
MMORPGs
games just
go
become
through.
ghost towns.
If we're talking about OTCGs, online TCGs, they come and go. They never keep for more than 2 years. If you see one that keeps alive for more than 2 years, it's because it actually have paper fan base, like Magic the Gathering, or what is the name of the one that is in Japan that it has recently an anime
Vanguard? No.
Shadowverse.
Shadowverse,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't have paper support.
Yes, they do.
They don't have a traditional version of the game. It's only
Yes, you
digital.
do. You have an internet in USA, but in Japan there is a paper version of the game.
Oh. There's also, I would say, what's it called, Hearthstone? I don't think Hearthstone has paper version, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It only
that's a
works on
good
digital,
example.
but that's the thing, though. Like,
it only
there's
would
only
work that if it's digital.
Very few of them that can keep up,
Yeah.
and it's because either they have enough material for players to actually do different things, or it's new, and sometimes these games, these updates take 6 to a year to actually do something new. So in that time, the game died and there's nothing new to actually play.
All right. So, have you guys heard of a game Heroic?
I
Like
think
the
I have.
HTCG?
Okay, no, not the HTCG, not Rachel's game.
Then no.
Oh no, it was called Epic.
Epic.
Wait,
Epic.
I think I may have.
Yeah, I sounds familiar.
It had like 4 different.
I've heard of it. I think.
You think?
I don't know. Like, it got hyped up because it was a little like Magic, but not the same. It had 4 factions that you could play with, but it was like righteous versus evil, and then wild versus I don't know, something else.
Okay, that game is digital.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just on the server.
Yeah.
Really?
So that one, it looks like it's still out.
It's still out?
Yeah.
Because I was seeing physical copies and stuff go out and people play that way, and I don't see it anymore. I don't see that shit.
It's $15 the box of Epic.
Ugh.
But even so, what really makes, like, why do these games only last 3 or 4 years online?
Yeah.
Because, like,
It's innovation.
Possibly.
But
that is all that I say. You know, right now trying to be unique in a system you have so many games that have done so many things for so many years, and trying to do something that is unique and stick to people is mostly impossible.
Yeah. I was having a
Well-
conversation about that with Liz, like that it's really hard to step away from the tradition without being boring or without like losing your players' attention.
But one thing I find interesting is I feel like the big problem is just them keeping their base. Because even if people love it, the problem is on an OTCG how many people are playing at any given time. Because like when Duelist shut down and when Duel of Champions shut down, all over the web you can find articles or people and forum posts where they're trying to find games similar to them, but they just don't exist. Like the games were unique enough, and that's why they had a prosperous few years.
Yeah.
But just something made it so that these players that are now desperately trying to find a game just like it, for whatever reason, they were not playing at the time of the shutdown.
And
Yeah.
what is it that happened to Duelist?
They just had the servers shut down.
And
They're
it
not
didn't
paying
get
for
like
it anymore.
officially published by a company from an indie game before that.
Yeah, like it was an indie game, and I played it back then, and that was. I've got memories. So like, there's some people who just only played 2 factions. There were 6 to choose from. It would just be nonstop, just Songhai versus Lionar, just the entire time, the entire fucking time.
I hated Lionar.
No, I played Vitruvian. Like, I tried to build some totem shit. That
I
was-
can't remember. I did whatever the zombie faction was.
Oh, Abyssian.
Mhm.
I loved Abyssian. That was great.
They weren't good, but like since it was a board game, like playing a counterattack deck like that was really effective.
Uh-huh.
So again, the game was unique,
Yeah.
but
Like, and I still crave something like it. Like, I played Crow's Maga, which is a French TCG. It's a little like Duelist in the way that it has a board that you're playing on, but it's not remotely the same. But
I can't even find information on the website about it.
I heard something about like when they released a new core set that they made the creatures a bit above curve in the core set, and they made it more of a premium thing. Like you had to spend more in-game money to get it, or things like that.
I think that is with OTCGs in particular. One of the problems always is they get money by people buying the cards, obviously, but then you get the pay to win issues, and then you have to try to figure out how to continue making money while also making it so people not paying can win, or the games go the route of trying to make the fan base energized enough that everyone is willing to pay to play the game.
Right.
Well, that whole. I'm sorry. That always been a problem for me. You know, I tried to play many games online. As soon as I have to pay, I drop them.
Yeah.
No, it's over.
But like a lot of those games, when they start out, they don't have that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like pay to win is like we're bleeding profits, and we gotta pull more people in who have like disposable income, and that just becomes a problem.
I do think though the easiest game to talk about why, because we're not, as Kirroh said, we're not all that one guy that went in the free chat and said, "Hey, someone make my game an OTCG." Like
Logan.
Yeah. Yeah.
like we don't all have those resources, but I think a good example of a game that it's on the way up, but I think it's just going to die again, Chaos Galaxy. Like that thing was just dead after set 2 came out, but at one point it was extremely active, and that one we can definitely see the reasons why the HTCG failed.
Yeah. But like,
Well, I will say power creep. But what I hear that
Well,
how do you stop power creep? Like, the longer a game's up, the
I
more
mean-
impossible it is to just nip in the bud.
okay, so what
Yeah.
by power creep? What do you mean?
Okay, so like almost the inflation of the value of your mana system and what is
Yeah.
accomplishable in creatures and spells per mana.
See, honestly, I think one of the biggest problems with Chaos Galaxy in particular was when you create the first set of a game, at least in my opinion, you create the core of the game,
Yeah,
and people can love it, but they expect more. They expect it to change in your second.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos Galaxy didn't do that. The game, I stand by, the game is just rock, paper, scissors. You play big monster, opponent plays counter to big monster, kills big monster, they play their own big monster, you do the same. That's how every game boils down. I beat the number one player on like my third time playing the game because the game, it boils down that easily. And like he's obviously better and probably would win. Yeah, he probably would win 9 out of 10 times, but the one time I played him, it was the 1 out win.
Do you think that is? Do you see that as a problem?
I think it is, because part of the reason I think the game has gotten like a bit changed is the rules have changed more in the new set. Like you draw more cards, you start with more things, more resource. But the problem is, that's what I think a lot of creators don't do is they need to make sure their core set does not limit the gameplay. Chaos Galaxy, I think, limited itself so much. I don't think it could ever go past 5 sets. Like even if it was becoming popular enough to do so, 3 might even be the end.
Yeah.
So
what you're saying? So let me. What you're saying is that he drops everything on the first set without letting space to actually improve the game later on.
Yeah. Like, I stand by that Chaos Galaxy has never been a good game. Like, I enjoy it and I respect the guy, but as a TCG, I think rules-wise, if someone tried to create it now, it'd be a failure. But since he was the first one, he managed to get that market.
He's got tenure, is what it is.
I agree. The game is not good. The game is not. It's fun. Many people have said that, but it's not a good game. You don't have many strategies to run with, and it has many errors.
That's such a cruel word.
Errors.
Errors.
Oh my goodness.
Fucking Slothe, are you even there?
No, I am. I just I really have nothing to say. I'm just focused on all of you.
I've got that app where I can look at your faces and just.
Now going a little bit back, I've been playing card games since '99. I've seen many card games come and go.
Boomer baby.
Yeah.
I bet you remember when computers make this noise.
Yeah, I was there when Pokemon first started, so.
Very cool.
Do you remember when? I'm sorry, just one more. Like, do you remember when Wizards tried to sue Nintendo for including a tap function in their card game?
No, I don't remember that one.
The Wizards of the Coast sued Nintendo because when your Pokemon is confused or asleep or whatever, you turn it 90 degrees to the left or to the right. And Wizard is like, ding, 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 that's ours. You can't do that. 45 degrees might have been fine, but 90? Get out of here. Oh, yeah. Anyway, you're saying?
Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Alpha Wookie. Very cool.
So they have many card games that have come and go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna talk about the anime ones because it's logical, the anime ends, so it's a card game.
Mm-hmm.
But you have seen. I'm gonna talk about one recent one, which I don't think is gonna survive for that long. But we have seen chaotic.
Oh,
we all know how that ends.
Yeah.
Loved that show.
It comes and go. We have seen Duel Master. We all know how that ends. We have Sim Hekaton. If you don't know which one that is, it's the little card with 5, with a hexagon or something like that. You have 5 sides.
The Bible GC.
Mm.
So
The fight.
Nerf
we
Jesus,
have,
please.
Myths and Legends, which
I
is
summon
also-
Moses.
is
Sorry.
coming back.
Part the Red Sea.
So we have many cards that have come and go. All these you have to do better than the big 3.
Yeah.
Promotional is one thing. If you don't promote your game is gonna die.
Mhm.
Your game cannot
Oh,
be
sorry.
similar
Mm.
to whatever the big 3 are doing,
Yeah.
because it's it's basically a ripoff. Your players won't go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how Astrom Cross is a ripoff of Oversoul.
Oh.
I think you got that backwards.
Yeah, I think you got that backward. But okay, we're not going there. We will not go there.
Proceed.
So, and besides, I think Oversoul
do
is a
agree.
ripoff of the Dual Master. But okay, let's continue. Let's move on.
Get it right by short.
So many of these card games haven't done something right, whether it's promotion or where it looks too much like the other thing. Many of them have come and go. They don't have a player base. If you don't have a player base, you cannot keep the game up. It's too costly. We all know art it costs a lot. So, and for these kind of games that are professional, we're talking about hundreds on just one art.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they cannot keep. If you cannot keep your player base, you have to drop it.
Yeah.
So that's basically the main reason. Also, I play many games that they look nice, but they're not fun.
All right.
Must
So
resist the urge.
maybe we can move on
But-
to another topic here with that. So do you feel like simplicity is a key factor in how fun a game is? Because some of the most fun games I've played have simple rules but unlimited possibilities. Some of the most boring games I've played have complicated rules and stale interaction. If we want our games to be more complicated layout to create more interesting outcomes, how do we do that without risking our game becoming boring?
Mm.
Okay,
Do
I'm
what Yu-Gi-Oh does.
I'm going to slap in here just because I'm very passionate about this.
Yes.
Okay.
I firmly believe, and I've made a whole video about this, you expand your game on entirely just one thing. That is the way that you make it unique, that you have like a base that people can build off of, but at the same time, it's not complicated because all boils down to one idea.
Yeah.
So like pillars, designing that, I focused everything into the pillar mechanic, and the rest, like leveling up, like in Pokemon and things like that, just kind of fit in with that same idea. So I feel like if you're trying to make your game like, and then I think the biggest example of simple but fun I can think of is Combo Masters, which tournament
Definitely.
weekend, y'all. Like the game is super simple, but like as Kirroh can attest, making decks for it is so much fun because you can do so many things. There's a huge balancing issue that both of us has found problems with,
Nice.
but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's fun. Hey, knives were not broken. They should not have been
Yes, they
notified.
were.
I only did 80 damage on like
And
turn
Luke.
5.
What?
And that is why I ask you, if the rock
And
paper
Luke.
scissors mechanic was wrong. Basically, you have Combo Master. It's a very simple game, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And you had Chaos Galaxy, which use a rock paper scissors mechanic, but you might not think that is fun, but they think that the game is fun. Even though the game is broken, the game is still
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like
If
Yu-Gi-Oh
we're
players.
going back to the topic of Chaos Galaxy,
We're trying not to.
I'd like to point out a few things.
I've got
Alright, so-
Santa's naughty list with me right here. I've been waiting for Chaos Galaxy Part 2.
Go again. Here we go
Yeah.
again. Get your popcorn.
Alright, so essentially, I quit playing Chaos Galaxy a few days ago. Up until
Few
that point, I was
So
the
brave.
best
Look,
player in the
guys.
game. And I'd like to share some of the reasons why
Okay,
I
we'll
decided
give you
to quit.
5 minutes.
Alright, give me 5 minutes. I
I'm
got you.
joking, bro. Just take your time. Take your
Alright,
time,
so
Grandpa. It's okay.
basically,
I'm gonna go to the bathroom while he talk.
You better not
Alright.
piss on the camera like Moss.
alright. Okay, so the first
Is he
problem
done
I
yet?
found with Chaos Galaxy. Ramego. Oh my goodness. Okay. So one of the first major problems I found with Chaos Galaxy is that yes, it is like a rock paper scissors kind of thing, but like in some situations paper might lose to rock, but rock still outweighs paper, if that makes sense.
What?
What I
Because
was saying, the
basically
game is broken.
You just if paper.
Hmm?
Oh, paper outweighs rock. I see what you're saying. Never mind. I got confused. I'm the big dumb.
Wait, what?
I got confused by what you said.
Keep going.
Don't worry about
Oh.
it.
did
I was
too.
saying I was saying like paper beats rock, but rock still outweighs paper in some regards because like if most people pick
Durable
scissors,
and you can't
obviously
rip it.
paper is, I mean, obviously rock is the better choice. But
Yeah.
like one thing is that like it's kind of hard to explain, but basically in Chaos Galaxy, the way that the game is engineered at its core, it makes it very difficult to balance because Zach only releases support for certain decks at like different times. And because like some decks will be underpowered for like a very long time and then they need to get like extra good support to be able to catch up. All right, you can play the game, okay? Here. Sorry about that. That's my little brother. All right, hold on, I'll be back.
Hi, Max.
That's the star of the show
That's
right
just
there.
Kirroh's son. Don't worry about it.
It's time for his annual beating.
Annual? Is that what every night means?
But
Well, anyway, going back to the theme, I will.
Yeah.
I say the game needs to be in the middle, but more towards the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
The game needs to be fun. It doesn't matter if it is strategical or whatever. It needs to be fun for players to actually play it. If
Yeah.
it is not fun, nobody's gonna play it. So it needs to be fun. If you want to add some strategic and add more additional stuff, that's up to the creator.
Yeah.
But the one thing that you need for people to play it is that is actual fun.
yeah, one thing I would just like to mention about Chaos Galaxy does show
Uh-huh.
just while Kira's not here, it's very big that the whole paper outweighing rock thing is huge because when I play it, the current strategy, and I recently won a game doing this after not playing in months, is I have a shit deck, which makes me win games because whenever I counter my opponent, they're not used to the exact same cards that they're playing. So, like, someone played their best card, and I countered it and then took it as my own, and they couldn't figure out anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like, I think you can have simple mechanics like that if you make it fun. But it's just not. And part of the making fun is our responsibility
Mm-hmm.
because, like, say I'm going to go back to Combo Masters because for some reason I really like that game. I don't know why. Because in all cores, it looks like anybody could make it. And they did a great job with art and font style to make the game feel unique as you play.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing for me is throughout the entire game, even when you're losing, like even when Kirroh's making cards come in my hand, the creators of that game, Cam Moz and Cool Kids, somehow found a way that you always feel like the game is fun. Well, even things like I love Magic the Gathering, but even Magic the Gathering feels really boring after a bit to me.
Like it'll take sometimes when you're playing against the right opponent, it'll take away the fun. Like some people have the ability to like take away your ability to play Magic. Like, do you ever feel like you can't play Combo Masters while you're playing Combo Masters?
Yeah,
I mean,
Kirroh on away. Actually
like,
putting
that's
making 4 turns without you playing anything.
like that is Kirroh's deck, but at the same time, what I think is interesting about Combo Masters is, at least me as a player, could be different for other people, but when you finally break through that and deal a little bit of damage, even though you know you're going to lose, it still feels good. In Magic, it feels like it's useless.
It's pointless, yeah.
Yeah. We all agree on that one.
Unless you're playing against Kirroh.
All right. So basically, where I was trying to go with that,
welcome back,
is that thank you. Where I was trying to go with the Chaos Galaxy thing is Zach makes a lot of support for the weaker stuff all at once, and then it usually makes that deck become the best deck instantly and like unable to be touched by anything else, which really ruins the game for the people who do find it fun.
So Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except
they do what
like a slower Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Where only one deck is as fast as normal Yu-Gi-Oh.
Bad Yu-Gi-Oh.
One of the reasons why I don't like
Yu-Gi-Oh strategy, so they release something new and make everything that is
irrelevant. Yeah.
One thing that I had to add to this topic, and it's the last thing.
Okay.
Whether the game is fun or strategic, I mean, the game already have to be fun, but it's our job as creators to balance the game, which haven't happened on Chaos Galaxy and on many other games, but it's our job as a creator. If we miss on that one, then we did not do our job.
How do you guys
fucking fail?
How do you guys feel about retconning cards? Like how some creators, instead of like, so some creators like Zach don't do anything. Some people ban cards or retcon, and some people put more cards into the system that'll like take care of it. What do you feel like is the best option for when you failed at balancing your game?
Well, I think the worst option is what Zach does.
Okay.
Like straight up Chaos Galaxy, I think.
Let's say the base of the floor is made of shit and Chaos Galaxy is holding up the rest of the options, okay?
Yeah.
How this just became a shit on Zach today?
I don't know.
It's just a good example.
It really is just a good example of what not to do.
Like honestly, for me, like I played Chaos Galaxy like I think once or twice, but even like when playing it, I looked at it and I realized like how many problems were in the game, and even if he tried to fix it, it would probably break the game even more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Basically, pendulums.
I do think the best idea is the channeling more cards into the system, because sure, the problem is new cards just become broken, right? Like that's how it works. But usually, like for an OTCG or like a more traditional game like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic that know they're going to have a new set coming in a few months, that is by far the best option, because you're able to make it so a meta shift is constantly happening, and so you can kind of time it to where you can have meta and off meta decks that are playable, and as cards become broken, funnel more ones in, and people have to figure that out. But then we have to reach the problem as, with us, we don't even know if we're getting another set, right? Like, the first one's hard enough, and if we make another one, usually it's a minimum of a year down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Combo Masters is the fastest game I've seen get made, and that was with 3 people doing the work.
Yeah, they genuinely work really fast.
But like usually it just doesn't work well, even if people try to pump out cards. So I feel like for us, it's probably best to like, I don't know, because ban lists are awful, but I think they are the best option for an HTCG.
Yeah, like
Okay.
what's the name of that?
Doesn't Chaos count?
That
I'm
or
sorry.
some
Go ahead.
type
Game.
of set rotation.
Fuck.
Yeah, semi-rotation they are good, but you have to be careful with what you put in there.
Yeah.
I believe you want to avoid ban lists as much as you can.
Evercry. What? You guys remember Evercry? TCG?
I heard of
Yeah.
it, but I never
They have a
really
ban
looked
list.
into it.
Like, I remember like being in awe seeing like in the HTCG community that somebody's game had a ban list. That I was like, it's your game. You can fix it. Like, it was interesting to me.
Usually the community is the one. They're the one playing your game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You have to hear your community.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
the one who know, okay, this card is broken. If you use it this way, the card becomes a problem. So it's your job to look into it. Okay, this card needs to be nerfed or to be limited or banned.
But like,
It's your job.
one of the cards
So
they
what
banned,
happened-
like just barely understanding the way the game worked, I could already, as a beginning player, see what was wrong with the card. Was you have like 2,000 life in the game, and there's this card called Fireball, and it costs like a bunch of mana, but it says instead of paying the cost of this card, you may pay 300 life, deal 500 damage to any target. And so, if you have 4 copies of
Wow.
that card in your deck.
Yeah.
And if you have all 4 in your hand at the beginning of your turn,
GG's.
it's a GG.
GG.
Fucking, because it does way less damage to you than it does to your opponent.
Yeah. One thing
What
I'd like to
happens when
point
you're
out.
trying to nerf stuff and
I guess they
like it
didn't
makes
thought of
cards
that
go.
one.
When you try to nerf stuff, Mango?
I was just saying, like, what happens if you make a card and like it may make like one certain strategy like really like it makes one strategy extremely OP and you would have to nerf it, but at the same time, wherever there are lower, I guess I don't know how to word it, like decks on the tier list, like a lot lower than that it really helps them out. Then what would you do? Because if you take away that card, that deck might still be there, and then those other decks would just be even worse without it. If that makes any sense.
You ban one and create a new card for the deck to actually be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be a better card if it said, deal yourself 500 damage, deal any target 300 damage. Because it confirms that you can't cast all 4 from your hand at the beginning of the turn. It confirms that, like, you have to have, like...
more life than your opponent to actually use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Okay. I have
And
a
if your opponent
question.
cancel it, you will still get the damage. So.
Yeah, what's up, Orange?
This is a bit off topic from this, but I was wondering in the last topic, and it kind of relates to this. So, as an HTCG, specifically, like your set 1 is the big deal, obviously, like getting published on the Game Crafter. That's everyone's goal here. After that comes other goals, but that's the main thing. So, I'm just wondering, for games like, we can see Cardfight Vanguard and Final Fantasy are the 2 of the trio that I think are big right now.
Are we getting into randomness?
Final Fantasy?
I didn't know
You
either.
bring up
I've
those
heard
2
of it.
games and
No, I know Final Fantasy. I don't think it's one of the big ones.
Well, at least over here, it's decently big. But, but the thing I find, I'm just going to gloss over that one. But I still think even like Vanguard, that's pretty big. They're going to die in a few years. Like, I don't think anyone doubts that.
Yeah.
So what?
I hope so.
Shut the fuck up.
why is that?
You don't get to talk.
But in that, does that mean they failed though? Like, what is the criteria of being successful as a card game here? Because everyone knows Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon will always be the head of the market.
Yeah,
You cannot
they're not
beat
going
them.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, Duelist lasting 4
Maybe
years, was that success?
Yes, absolutely. Like it had a community, and there were people who were missing it when it left. I feel like success can be measured in that. Did you get notoriety? Was there a community that was created around your game? And when it goes, will people miss it? I feel like that's
No.
fair.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. So we got. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Duel Masters.
Okay, good.
Duel Masters last 4 years here in USA. It was a ripoff of Magic the Gathering. It was easy Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
The game end in US, but it's still in Japan.
Vegas.
It doesn't mean that the game wasn't a success over here, because we're talking about many of the games still in Japan alive. Duel is another case, but
Mm-hmm.
but many of these games that are paper cards are still alive somewhere else, like
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, just in case Final Fantasy is a horrible game. But it's still alive, and it's been what, 5 years now for Final Fantasy? Can't remember exactly, but I think it's 5 years for that game to be around. So yeah, that's a success, Even though they are not really popular, that's a success.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I will say for
Fuck, how
a
do you
game
measure success at all?
to be published, that's a success.
Yeah.
If you are published, it's a big success. Your name is already stamped on those cards as a creator.
Mm-hmm.
And by published, I assume you mean like from us publishing them on the GameCraft, or a different company
Yeah, like a
approaches
company
us
picks it
and
up.
buys it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
Argent Saga is a game recently we all know. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but it was created by one of the champions from
I think it was
Yu-Gi-Oh. So, he's one of the creators. I think it's 3 guys, but he's one of the creators, and he creates Argent Saga. So, Argent Saga is a game that use Kickstarters to actually promote his game, but it's a success. It's right there. It's now competing with the big guys. I mean, it's never going to. I mean, I won't say never, but it's not as successful as Magic the Gathering, but he still has his own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, is you have a fan base, a player base, and your game is being played, you're successful. As long as you're earning and not um have to pay more than what you earn, I guess you're successful.
Yeah.
You did.
Because, like, for me, my goal with Pillars specifically is to eventually make it so somebody, like, it's not a lofty goal, but I want someone to play a match that I don't know about.
Huh.
Like, for people of their own will to go, hey, do you want to play a game of Pillars, and launch it up and play a full match? Like, for me, I would count that as success, because that means I've made a game other people enjoy, even if they don't know me.
Yeah, but they would rather, they'd want to play your game specifically, not Magic, not Pokemon, not Yu-Gi-Oh! They want to play Pillars.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let me ask you something then. This is going to like change topics, so, but I stumbled on this idea. Like, I'd love both of your opinions on this, but I've stumbled on this idea that I feel like the community should take a lot more thought about. What is your game's attention getter? Not necessarily what's like unique about it or what ultimately stands out in the long run, but what is about your game that makes somebody look at it and initially go, I want to know more. Because like, here, I'll put it up on the live stream and everything. Kirroh showed me this game called Achievement TCG, and whoever they are, they decided that the art should be on the bottom of the card and the description on the top. I'll put that in the chat real quick. You seen this shit before? Oh, that is the wrong ass thing. Do I not have it on?
Red chat or host?
I'll pick the card backwards.
No, if you can see it on the stream.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, you guys can see it on the stream?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look
I've
bad at all.
obtained comida.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks fine.
Yeah,
Nice.
like that's the thing is like it's something interesting. It's a challenge to what's normal in like the TCG world, and it kind of looks pretty standard. It looks like kind of a standard Magic-esque type game, but it could have some different rules in there. But like if you put this game in front of me, I'd be far more likely to try it than any other like thing similar to it because of just the way it looks. Like it's got an appealing flavor to it. But like, so that's that game's attention getter.
My dog's invaded my room.
What
But
the fuck?
his
Interesting.
dog attacked him.
Okay, so what?
But
You know, more dog attacks happen in the U.S. than corona cases. Yeah, but there's not a vaccination for dog attacks, is there, Slothe? Get over it, pussy.
There's not a vaccination for corona
All right, so how do you feel about the idea of an attention getter, and if you like it, what do you feel like the initial thing that people look at in your game and make them want to play it?
okay, so obviously with the new game I'm making, I can just say it's a sports TCG, and that attracts people. So that one is easy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's actually a problem I recently figured out with Pillars is I have something that if someone asks for the rules, I think is interesting and can draw people in.
Mm-hmm.
But even though the art is nothing like a lot of other games, because not only is it fantasy, but I also purposely make it a lot darker colored and things like that.
Also, like a
But
faggot is doing the art or something.
Hey, don't insult Kai like that.
Oh,
Right.
I've done some of
Wait,
it too. Faggot.
Isn't Alpha Wookie also doing art?
But
You uploaded a fucking video of that pillar, and you didn't even credit me, man.
hey, don't worry about it.
I won't.
But my problem with Pillars is I realize the fact that it is a more realistic looking, like obviously it has still cartoony like characters because we're not all professional artists, otherwise we would not be here. But I think the art is great, but it reminds me too much of Magic the Gathering that I think that is going to be a downfall in my game.
Mm-hmm.
Is
I feel the
because
same way
it
about
is
mine,
a
so-
fantasy card game.
Yeah.
So you want a steampunk?
Fuck off.
Professional art steampunk?
I
You
don't
know why
That's-
there isn't a professional art steampunk card game? Okay.
No,
There's not an open market for that.
that's why I asked him.
And there was Architect, but I think they also realized, damn, there's not enough steampunk fans for this shit.
I got all 3 steampunk fans to play my game. The other guy waited his turn very patiently.
I mean, there's something close to a steampunk game, but let's not bring that one into this.
Okay.
I don't even know if there's anything in
So Mango,
acting.
You talking about Cogs of War?
Oh, fuck!
Well, wait, no,
I
wait,
can't
what were you
believe
gonna
Not
ask?
you noticed
exactly
that.
steampunk.
Professional art.
Orange, did you fuck. No, I don't know about what it. No, I quote unquote insulted him as an artist. Not quote unquote as in he said it, but like I'm just like kinda like no, he made this art
Oh my god.
that looked like Naruto, but like sexy jutsu Naruto in like some clothes, and I
It
said
does.
yeah, exactly. And
On
I
their defense, it
can
does.
you fucking
Mega
stop
Milk
with
Naruto.
the chimp attack, Slothe? God.
I wasn't even sending monkeys. I sent like one chimp, a singular chimp.
You're like,
But
what?
he took offense to that, really?
No, yeah. So, like, I said, he's no. You know how he's kind of a bit of a pervert.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh,
in his 30s.
I have proof.
I remember one time,
Oh my goodness.
like,
He's kind
I'm
of
not
confirmed he is definitely a
out and,
pervert.
What, Mega?
like make fun of him or anything. But I remember one time where I brought it because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fucking idiot. So like I brought up, yo, should I just like turn over so into a hentai game? And like he just jumped into the conversation like, hell yeah, that's what I'm doing for my game. And he just kind of went on about it. I'm like, yeah, man, cool.
Speaking
He
of
just kept on
Synthonite's
going on and on.
perversion,
But like he was like getting off to like somebody was like, man, she's real hot, man. And he's like, yeah, I got to admit, she's a real view, ain't she? And they were going on about like
Were they talking about a truck? That's like that's not like talking about a woman that like you're attracted to, or like anyone you're attracted to. That's like talking about a fucking car you just bought. She a beaut, ain't she?
Yeah, that's a nice car you got there, Daryl. Yeah, real nice. She's a hell of a view.
Cletus, that's one hell of a Jeep.
But like,
That's one hell of a dig.
but
bruh.
I responded, and I don't even know why I'm on his server. I don't know why I was talking to him. But like, I said, Naruto with tits is not a view I need see ever again. And then there was some guy saying that, man, you need to watch what you say. Like, don't you know that your words have weight? And like, Symphonite took down the art. Like, I was like, the fuck? It looked good. It just looked like Naruto, and I was pointing it out.
That just makes him a beta cock.
Well, just in case, even the position of the character, it looks like the section of jutsu from Naruto. So
Yeah.
It does.
It just
It looked like a sexy jutsu mixed with the fucking that one chick from the mechanic chick from Final Fantasy 15, I think.
oof.
Imagine drawing normal people for your game.
Who the fuck does that?
Why? Wait, what the fuck was I
It's
talking
sorry,
about when we got
nature.
onto the Wait, we were.
Yeah, what's the topic right now?
No, we're
Symphonite, more like Symphonite.
We were talking about attention getters.
yeah. Yeah. We need that. Attention span is more important at this moment. All right. Yeah. So, but like Mango, do you feel like what's your attention getter for Oversoul?
I don't know, man.
A big cock and ball.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know one thing. Whenever I do teach game to some people, they usually tell me that it's for like even if they've never played like Duel Masters or anything, like that, they usually say like it's refreshing.
I will say, on
It
his
really
game,
is, though.
you know, without playing the game, the art is simple, but it's refreshing. It fits perfect on the game.
It's like a can of Diet Pepsi, Diet Cherry Pepsi.
Diet sucks.
I
It's
don't
fucking
know,
normal.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
literally like no
Why
difference.
does it have to be Pepsi?
Because Pepsi's good. It's better than
Yeah,
Coke.
Coca-Cola is ass.
No, man, no.
Hot take, neither
Coke-
are good.
Coke tastes like if beer was worse.
Come on.
Oh yeah, that's another thing people do say against the art. The art is
Yeah,
one thing that usually attracts most people. Yeah.
Obviously, they're talking about the frogs.
And there's usually, art that is very simple, and then Mango, put his hand on that end.
Oh wait, you mean in general? My bad. I'm a little slow.
I was saying to because I was talking about shit about this with Liz, and I was telling her that Sloth's attention getter is the fact that your game is a fucking psychedelic acid trip.
Yeah, and that's why I want to play it.
You look at the card and you're like, the fuck? Who puts an art in the circle? In a circle?
With like 8
Yeah,
colors.
dude, why not? Why the fuck not?
And you got baby with like upside down crosses all over him, and it's like, look at him, it's Cletus the fetus. Who the fuck wouldn't want to play that game?
I really want to work on it again, but I'm struggling creating stuff, and like I really don't want to make buildings. But I know it's something I have to do because one, I'm making comics, so I obviously have to do a setting anyway. So I got to learn how to make buildings. Period.
Oh fuck.
Why will you make buildings for your card game?
So,
Huh?
what?
Are we talking about your card game?
Yeah, my
Why
card
would you
game.
make buildings on your card game?
Why would I make buildings? Is because the whole thing is like making an economy and shit, and like making stores.
In hell.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Capitalism in the underworld.
You can use weird ass building like they did on Soul Eater.
You want to know what? I don't know why I didn't think of that. Thank you.
Cause you a bitch. Cause I'm a fucking nitwit. Liz has a
Nitwit.
question. She is saying, so for each of us, like, what is our targeted age range for our games, and does that affect the way we design our cards?
What is the target? What?
What is the targeted age range of our games, and does that affect
Ooh.
the design of our cards? Because I think that's good for Kirroh, because he's got 2 games. One that he's designing for his little brother Max to play, his little baby boy.
The little baby boy who walks around with a beating
Indeed.
stick.
And the other one with the beep.
With the
stick.
what?
The one with the thong coming out of the ass. That one ain't for Max. Wait till you're old
Not
enough.
I
for
told him
Max.
to cover. Look, I told him
Oh
to
my
cover her up because her crack was all out. It just made the drawing worse.
What was I supposed to do? Like, I drew on separate layers. I couldn't have made her jeans higher.
That's
Oh
what you
my
did
goodness.
draw on separate layers, so you still could have done something.
I could not have done something.
You could have just put a
dang
burger
good.
on her.
Yeah,
You said
well,
what?
my game is not for kids. At least my game. But
Because
I
you
have
over-sexualized the male figure.
Because
I've seen
Because
those
it
abs.
takes 2 hours.
because now
Like
it does
Chaos
not.
Galaxy.
I'm allowed to throw
You
jabs.
need
I have it
object
over
permanence to play Astrom Cross's game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think when I was working on my game, the main audience I was looking for was like teens to young adults, because I think they're the only ones that would understand. Like, oh, I want to summon the baby demon fetus.
The what?
The demon baby fetus.
The baby demon fetus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Cletus the fetus.
And like I don't know, I feel like they'd get a kick out of just like just out of this dumb little game. I like, I don't really think of a specific audience when I make a product. I just kind of think, yes, the reckoning becomes, it is here. It begins.
I guess my game would be targeted more like our ages, except like not Kai, but like
Cause of fucking oldie.
but like Pillars is definitely made like to fit my own taste of kind of someone that grew up with games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And those games are now awful and unplayable. And so because of that, like something new that fits that kind of game,
Yeah, just
but like
I like fillers.
yay. It's definitely a lot better than when I was playtesting.
Keep
But
going.
yeah, I feel like For me, I think that is the ideal audience for a game is either younger people or like because we're in a weird age range because like Magic is obviously fun, but like we get to the point where once we get into college, it's harder to play competitively.
What do you call younger people? I guess that's what this
Youngins.
question means.
I would say my game would be like 15 or 16 to like early 20s.
All right.
Like
That's my
obviously
safe range. That's why I say no for kids.
Yeah.
Anything under 12 is a kid.
Yeah. I would say that's fair.
Anything under 12 is foul.
If anybody's wondering what baby Cletus looks like, I've got it up on the screen.
Oh no.
Do you really? Oh no.
I love him.
I love him.
Beautiful.
I love him like my own child. In fact, he may be.
You don't know the father.
I do not know who made this.
There we go.
I'm still honestly surprised people even remember my TCG because it lasted for like 5 seconds.
It's fucking psychedelic. How can you forget it?
Like one look and you're like, what?
Exactly.
What was with freaking like Earthchan or whatever?
Oh man. All right, you guys want to so I'm going to give you guys something. I'm going to give you a pitch here. Okay?
Okay.
So, this is something Liz whipped up. So, there is what's called the game triangle. There are 3 corners of the game design. Gameplay, art and template, lore, theme, and background. So those are the 3 corners of game design. If you had to focus on only 2 aspects of this triangle, what would you crack down on and why? Like, what would you choose?
Okay. I'm going to hop in real hot quick because I do not think it's a triangle. I think it is like a food pyramid.
Okay.
Like, I think gameplay 100% has to be emphasized.
Yes, exactly.
I will pick on a game here. Why the hell has Symphonite not play tested Cogs of War?
I fucking hate that shit.
The art is incredible.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
got a great template. He's got a theme. He's got a background. But I cannot play a game that has not been tested.
Yeah, exactly.
By focusing on those 2, I do not think his game is currently playable. It could get there, but it's never going to be at the level of some of our games that have been. I'm not trying to be elitist about
Get
it.
on
Unlike
my level, Symphonite. I know how to run a server and make a game.
But like, I drove him out of one. But like, we've spent months, and we're going to spend many more months solely on the gameplay. And like, I feel like it goes there. Then I think not necessarily the art. I think the template is incredibly important. Like, you can have, like, say I'm going to go back to Combo Masters. Cam obviously makes great art, and then Moz and Cool Kid, like, it's pretty good, but not up to standard with a lot of the games that are coming out. But the way they made the template makes it all come together, and even their art works perfectly fine in the game, and it looks good. I do not think lore's themes or background are necessary. So, and I've been picked on about this. I was playtesting Pillars with Ionverse, and he mentioned that there's a disconnect because he couldn't figure out how these things were evolving. I've never thought about that. It was just a good mechanic and made the game fun. But now I have to figure something out about that because I'm at that stage. But
just tell him, look, man, the future's now, old man. Get with the times.
Future's now, thanks to science.
They stood there so fucking long in radioactive waste that now we're here. Get used to it.
But then that brings me back to Ionverse, where he put tons of effort into the lore, the theme, the background of the game, the art and the template. And the gameplay is fun, but I feel like when you put too much effort into the theme and the art, you can feel that in the game. Yeah. So like I could get all these fun themes, but then like I couldn't even get through the first game, mostly because it was long. It was fun, don't get me wrong. I endorsed the game. But like I think gameplay needs to be emphasized more than anything else tenfold. And then I think you need your templates and your arts and your lore. A lot of people talk about lore as super important. I personally like, okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! That is the shittiest lore I've ever seen. Like, come on.
It had
And
lore,
it's
but
like
they just like kind
the
of went
biggest
off.
game out there.
Fuck
Follow
Yu-Gi-Oh,
it.
man.
It had
Like-
lore. Keyword had.
And now
bad.
it's just like he game, and it's working out. Now I'll also
Like-
say Yu-Gi-Oh is not working on gameplay either at the moment, but
Oh, roasted.
Ugh.
Like, here's the
I
thing.
feel
with
like
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Astrom
Shut
Cross
the
has
fuck,
a
everybody!
nice
Shut up!
balance.
Slothe is talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, originally it was based on like it was actually based on shit that you'd see in D&D, and obviously the funny Egyptian cards and whatnot. And then
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I wanted to say this. I'm basically just restating it. It's legit just like, yes, Donkey Kong throws the barrel. Oh, let's make this a card. And then fucking like isn't there like an entire archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's just like a bunch of roaches hiding in furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please tell me about this.
I'm googling
It's
it
like
right now.
the Max D or Max C. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, Maxi.
I feel like
That's
Astrom
a
Cross has a
card.
good balance for his thing. Where he has good art.
Nah,
good.
just here. I agree. I totally agree with Orange. Most important is gameplay, and then is art and templates. Template and art. Story, it doesn't have to do anything with a game if you don't want to add it.
Yeah.
Look at Pokemon. What the
Yeah.
fuck the story has that? You don't need a
You're
story to actually play
dumb.
Pokemon. So
Yeah.
story has nothing to do with a card game if you don't want to add it. Now, in defense of Astrom Cross, my game is based on the story, which is different. But I totally agree with what Orange is saying. You don't need lore. You don't need any of that shit to actually make a game playable, make a fun game. And
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Like, but do you feel like I'm a go on the controversial side here. I would easily give up art and template design for my story. Like
that's what I'm doing.
yeah.
Nah.
Like I got shiny black C up on the screen there. Oh, it's coming out the refrigerator. Ooh. No, but I like what you said, that you based your game on the story, and I identify with that because the story to my game is incredibly important to me, and if I had to sacrifice an aspect, gameplay wouldn't be sacrificed. I would go, okay, I do all this art by myself. I'm not that great of an artist. I hire Mango for every little thing, and he still won't fucking draw me the JoJo Bizarre Adventure fucking reference.
I'm still working on
I'll
it.
do it. I'll
show
do
me
it.
anything. What?
It's been for 1 year.
Actually, you wanna know what? Never mind, cause like
I've
I owe
never
Mango
done
like
that
2
thing.
cards, and I still haven't like finished either of them.
Okay, give them to me.
I would do it.
But
But nobody
I
hires me.
mean, the art you made me for Pillars, I think is good, but
I fucking work forever on that art line. It's not worth it for my game. Well, maybe it is, but no, I draw like a lot of people. Like the problem is I gotta
that
like.
spider is awesome. I like the spider.
I work so hard on that spider, dude. I'm hella proud of it, but I can't draw
The
people.
what?
I can't draw the
Dude,
faces.
the spider is like the card I showed him.
I know.
Oh,
Like you got that on your your thumbnails, and I'm like, there it is, yeah.
I did not know that Orange was not the artist of that.
Oh no, I cannot draw. I
just-
I colored
This is
them.
new
Yeah.
to me.
I remember one time he offered to color something for me. It was Dance of the Burning Spirit in my game, and I just looked at it. I'm like, there's something off, and then I looked at his eyes. Oh, he didn't finish.
Yeah, I realized that.
I had to go back, and I just added a little bit of highlight. here and there, but really, you're really good at coloring. I'm just surprised that you can't draw for shit.
Like it's bad. I can't draw stick figures.
Yeah, but I feel what Alpha Wookie's saying, in my game, and for what I know in his game, my game is for my story.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we work back.
Like,
However,
a
the
lot of the
gameplay is very
mechanics
important.
in my
so-
game happen because of the story. Like, they make sense because of the story.
Yep.
You were saying,
Now let's talk about Chaos Galaxy.
nobody, fucking nobody.
Here's the thing with Chaos Galaxy, right?
Fine.
He only
feel like,
focuses on lore.
I'm gonna bring this up though. Like, I feel like because I try to and I feel like that because Zach is actually trying to how do I say?
Make his game.
I feel like Zach is a fucking gatekeeper.
Is he?
If you don't,
How do you feel?
he's a dictator.
Sorry, hold on. I was choking on Cheetos. Hold on.
That's what I feel. I feel like
What?
Zach is a gatekeeping dictator piece of shit. Well, I don't know.
Why?
The guy,
Why is he
he's
a
probably
gatekeeper?
nice.
Are you talking about like Chaos
Yeah, I
Galaxy,
get that
Zach?
vibe.
All right, before we get on
Yeah.
to this, I'd like everybody to pay attention to the piggy bank of damnation.
Oh yeah.
What?
The piggy
I'm stealing it for all.
Okay.
Nani?
Thank you.
bank. How could you
Where,
not want to
where?
play this game? I say as I've never played.
Oh, there.
I've wanted to play, but it doesn't
Where's the
exist.
piggy bank of damnation?
Look on
There
the
it is.
screen, mommy.
But
Shiny black sea.
Yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't
I mean-
stand for what you think.
I will say though, like, and I'm not trying to pick on you guys at all. I know
He's gonna do it.
problems, but
Very cool.
I can kind of like when I look at your cards, I can tell that story is more emphasized, which is a turnoff for me as a player. I know for a lot of people
What
it's a turn
story?
on.
I know what it's like to turn people off.
Whoa, what story is an oversoul? I mean, it's there, but it's vague as fuck. It's not the main focus. for
Yeah,
me.
no, I mean more for Alpha Wookie a little bit because I haven't seen much of your game. It was already not as active when I joined.
Uh-huh.
Now it's picking up though. But like Astrom Cross, like the game looks generic, but then like I like the game. Again, I bought it, but
He can't
like-
be trusted. He's an unreliable narrator.
hey,
Yeah. Okay.
but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like
Yeah.
you attract very different audiences based on which of those three you choose.
You have not learned that we know we attract different audiences with this podcast, at least. He was in the chat and he was like, so if we actually stay on track, we could actually have a good podcast this time. It's like, well, that wouldn't appeal to like literally anybody who watches it because everybody knows we're a piece of shit podcast by now. They come to
Oh
see the
wow, we're
train
at
wreck.
11 people watching.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's
Speaking
liking.
of 11 people, I got up to 100 subscribers. Yeah, no one cares.
Exactly. You got 100 subscribers and 10 of them show up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's all good.
Oh shit, never mind. 101. What? No.
What? How many subscribers do I have?
112.
Yeah, but-
Really?
yeah.
Man,
We're going
jokes.
up to.
I need to
Back
start
here we
making
go.
YouTube videos again.
We're gonna make it there.
Oh man.
Please don't make the one that another one like the what's it called the one you did on the fucking shit.
Hey, stop cussing.
My bad.
What I thought.
Fucking swear words.
When I remember, I'll tell you.
Is it when I was
It's
in
okay.
a storm drain?
Yes. That was the first video I saw of you. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Are you talking about the one when he molested the banana? That was
Wait,
the
what?
first video I saw.
That's like every video. There's this one time I
on,
did
I
an
need to
art
see this.
competition, and like I just started stabbing into a banana like I was on a flip phone.
Yo, honestly,
Well,
I want to make a Alpha Wiki reference in my game. Just make a new fruit card and make it a banana.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. No video is as quite as good as Sloth's Quick Crunch.
Yeah.
I think that video's gone now.
For
What?
April Fools, I was
How
thinking about making a quick crunch video. Just like a close-up of my chin, just chomping on something. Oh, man.
Bruh.
That would have been great.
I think Quick Crunch is gone.
Would've
I
lost
think I
subscribers.
deleted it out of impulse.
Why? Bro.
I don't know.
It's such a fucking
How
meme.
dare you?
I know. I like the video too, and I regret taking it down. But you wanna know what? There's a new video called "The Man Behind." I recommend it. It's legit just me in my friend records me, and I sing the entirety of the FNAF 2 song as all my friends watching horror.
You just send it. Send the link in the Discord server.
Yeah, send the link.
I want to tell a story though about that video, that storm drain.
No one cares.
Okay.
You right.
I'm joking.
Oh, that's how I started talking to my girl.
Oh.
No. I'm not joking.
You met her in the storm drain?
No. I was just like, hello there. What are you doing?
I was in the
lovely
gutters that
sewer?
day. That's rainy day.
No, I don't remember what made me show her my YouTube channel. I showed her the video and she watched that whole ass skit and she didn't look at me in horror. She said, wow, that looks fun. We should hang out sometime.
Who said this?
Liz.
Liz, you fucking hermaphrodite.
No, but like, that's how I knew. She wasn't
She
fucking
enjoyed your
scared away.
charisma.
No, there's no charisma.
She's a keeper.
I was like,
She
in a
looked at you
fucking
and said,
fight.
wow, you're such a Karen. You want to hang out sometime?
Oh man.
Is it bad I've been playing Pokemon Showdown occasionally during this podcast?
No.
No, you
There's
play
been a-
Super Mario Maker usually.
Oh yeah, that's
There's a lack
right.
of
Hold
Mario
on.
Maker.
Actually, no, I've been playing Animal Crossing most of the time.
Do it then. I wanna hear some Tom Nook.
No.
I can't play Animal
Thursdays
Crossing.
on the chat.
I cannot either.
It's just every time I go into town hall.
Every time I go to the town hall, I see his eyes and I coom.
I see.
I thought you
Isabella.
about to say something about Coochie. I don't know why.
Yeah. I see Isabella.
Chola.
I see
You
Isabella.
little chola down the street. You gotta be
dog.
like, hey,
I can't stand it.
the fuck back in the house. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Moving on.
Making my way downtown.
All right. So I got another topic then. So if
Okay.
I feel like we're tapering off to the end here, but like probably like a couple more topics here. If you're going back to like when we talk about like when we're successful, when we like pitch, when we get our game like purchased by a company, how would you pitch your game on the back of a TCG booster pack? What would you say the aspects that you'd sell the game on?
If you buy this booster, you will get laid.
If you buy this booster, you get the cooter.
Yeah.
Buy this booster and you will not get corona.
Ironically, you get corona as you crowd the booster box.
No, ironically, you pull a bottle of corona out of the pack.
I'm trying to
Honestly,
figure out
I
a good
think
answer.
for
Honest,
Kirroh, I
be
feel like for
honest,
Kirroh, all
I
you need to
wouldn't
do is put the
Sell
thick
my
there.
game.
Yeah.
You said what?
For Kirroh, I feel like all he has to do is put down the thick, the one with the thong.
Why do you feel like you wouldn't
Put
sell
her
your
as
game,
the
Kai?
pack art.
So
Yeah,
thi-
put that as
so
a
this
pack
is
art,
kind
that'll
of like-
get him.
This is like
Yeah,
if you
I
had
bet
one
Infinite would buy them.
sentence. It's like having one sentence to sell your game, right?
Almost, but like
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to do it, honestly, but I don't think I would. At
how,
the same time, if
what
that
aspects
if
of your
that's
game would you
there,
sell
then-
your game on? Like if you only had like a limited paragraph you could write on the back of a booster pack.
I mean,
You are spiritual, but not
for me,
religious.
for me, this goes back to, again, my whole philosophy of creating games. I would just focus in on the one mechanic I think no other game has.
Yeah.
And so, like, my pillars, whether or not they are actually, like, appealing to people, I feel like just getting, like, just buying a game that is different is more appealing to people than, like, for example, like, I'm going to pick on the game again because it's such a good example. Cogs of War. If I was in a store and looked at a pack, I could buy it based on art, and that could really sell it for him. But if you flip to the back, that means that the art is not selling it for you, right? At least that's how I would see it.
Interesting.
So I would say what you see on the pack is how you would try to buy it. But if you go to the back and look at it, at that point, I don't think someone would purchase his game because they read it and it's the same rules as Final Fantasy twist. So I don't know, I feel like there's two very different ways to kind of approach this. Because, like, Pillars, I don't think could be bought on art alone because it isn't too unique. But I don't know. And then, like, for, like, Astrom Cross, I feel like there's some, like, big monsters you can put on the tops of things that would be cool. But then that is also another game that, like, if you focus in, and this could also go back to what we're talking about, like Horizon and Astrom Cross can try to sell it based on lore on the back.
Possibly.
Right. My game, just in case.
Yeah.
If I will sell my game, I will also go to the unique part. I am not. I build my game for my story, and unless they give me complete control of what I'm writing and what the art is going to be, I don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
But if I will sell my game, I will sell it based on the unique mechanic that is my mana system.
Okay. How do you do that? Like, what's your mana system, brother?
Basically, let's say it's Magic the Gathering. I am not gonna say it's Magic the Gathering, but let's take for example Magic the Gathering.
I tap
You have
2 lands.
no,
Okay.
no. You
I
get your
counter this
locations.
conversation.
You get your locations, but your locations are on a different deck. You got your lands on a different deck, but you put your lands in play, and each land you put in play unlocks all the cards you can play on the game. So basically, once you have one land that is water, everything that costs 1 water is free to play. So you keep unlocking the system until you have, let's say, the highest cost in your deck is 6. Once you have 6 mana in play, you don't have to play more lands.
Yeah.
So that's why my second mechanic comes in, where you just skip your land phase and draw another card. And you can build your battlefield depending on your mechanics. Sometimes you need support, sometimes you need to be aggressive, so you need 5 spots on the front. If you need support, you have to build 1 on the front, 1 on the back, and keep building that way. It all depends on how you build your field. Because once you put those lands in play, those lands are where your creatures are going to be placed at.
That's pretty cool.
If I had to sell my game, I will use that as my theme, as my main concept.
Don't get mana fucked. Play my game.
Basically, yeah.
That is one thing I think is interesting, is I feel like unique like card designs can really help in the sense of, like, for example, my favorite cards in Astrom Cross are the lands. I don't know why, but, like, they're so different because the whole thing is colored in, they're sideways. Like, I think the inks like that are a lot more appealing when trying to pitch a game when looking at first images. Because, like, it's the same thing like in Pokemon, the way they completely change up the full arts, or like a Planeswalker in Magic the Gathering. I just think having a unique card like that can really help when selling.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally.
So, I guess we could talk about that then. So, we've talked to death the idea that there's no such thing as originality, but we're always telling people to do different things in their games to make it stand out. So, is there a difference between trying something new and being original?
Well, I
Well,
guess both things are the same thing.
Kinda.
I mean,
I would say there's probably a difference.
Well, there is a difference, but once you create something new, you are being original. So,
Mm.
like okay, if you're trying, it took me just in case. I know it's a simple mechanic, but I was studying different games and what the mana system on different games work.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 10 years to actually figure out, okay, this is not used on any card game. And I'm talking about card games. Because if you
Yeah.
can see many, the mana system is similar to what Magic does. It's not the same, but the location is used on many board games. So what I did is I mix a little bit of both, and I came up with this. But it took me a while to actually, get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted my game to be unique, and on at least one aspect that I can say, okay, you might say the card looks like Magic the Gathering, but once you play it, it's totally different.
Hmm.
So,
Um,
and that is one aspect that I wanted to put my game on. And then if you see many other mechanics, they work different as they work in many other games, but they're similar. So, you can tell, okay, this is from this game, but is used on a different way.
I mean,
what is the question?
I was asking, like, so you know how we're always like, there's no such thing as a new idea, but we're always saying,
There is.
yeah. So is that just folly on our part, or are we making some sort of distinction in our head that says that there's a difference between new, or maybe innovation is a better word, taking the ideas that we already know and rearranging them in different ways. So the idea of having a deck is not new. The idea of being able to flip cards off of the top of that deck every turn is not new. The idea that you can pay for something once you have enough of something is not new. But the way you combine those ideas is what made it new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you said and what Kai said. Because for me, like, I think you should try to be unique in one aspect, like what Kai did. And I think what I did is unique, but obviously I didn't spend as much time as Kai did trying to figure that out.
10 years.
That's crazy, man.
It's like that's like going on a hiatus to the mountains and coming back. Like,
Just in case
he became enlightened.
Came back
the
with
game
the
has
tablet
been
testament.
restarted a lot of time. It's not that I've spent 10 years on just one game.
I know.
It's just a
Notebooks
different
all
game
around
started
him.
all around. Yeah.
But for me, I think you want to try to find that one idea, and I think the big part is accepting that your game will not be unique in any other way, and that is what can make a game fun, because you'll see, like, especially, I'm going to pick on some. I'm not as up to date as I was, because a lot of school stuff going on, but a lot of games I see join in the HTCG server that come and then go pretty quickly are based on they're either doing things like the same as another game. For example, we've seen tons of just Chaos Galaxies come through, right?
I legit thought he was about to come at my head, man.
Nah, not yet.
We've seen
Not
Not
yet.
yet. But then we also see a lot of people come in and they write these paragraphs about how their game's on aspects. But then it comes back to do you want to be simple or complicated?
Yeah.
Because we have these rules ingrained into what is a trading card game. You don't want to differ from that too much. Combo Masters, I'll bring that up again. It differs greatly from the traditional way, but it doesn't add that many new things in place of it. So instead, they kind of strip these away, and then from there, the game is built. But once people strip those away and then try to replace them, I think is when we reach these issues, and why we tell people to not be original per se, is because then you reach this point where you come back to creating the same problem. No one wants to play a game that doesn't seem fun.
Yeah.
Or that is a ripoff of another one.
Yeah. Which those two things, I think, comprise probably about 90% of the games we see out there in this community.
Yeah.
And that's probably most of the games we made as kids. Like, my first ones were just Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My first one was just Pokemon.
Yeah, and you go from there and build up, and that's how you get these more unique games. But then I think the big problem that's been promoted in our community is a lot more. There doesn't seem to be a lot of stuff talking about, like, how common failure is, right?
Yeah. Like, we constantly are trashing games and starting another one.
And even the ones we've done, we've definitely, like, trashed and made hiatuses for.
Yeah.
I could argue that Horizon has been 3 different games. Just honestly, it's just changed so much.
Mine's 7.
Yeah. Honestly. No, I sometimes struggle with my game. I struggle with that. Yeah, it's fun, but is it just sad magic?
No.
That's kind of. I'm going to throw out another big name. For some reason, I don't talk about enough. Wrath of Kors. I think that's the definition of sad magic. Like, and
Of
I'm
course
sorry,
it's sad, dude. You had one job, and you rolled a 1.
like exactly.
One job, and you rolled a 1. How sway?
It happens to me. I try to play.
Honestly,
it happens to me.
I would argue
game,
the opposite.
Are you saying that magic is sad, Wrath of Kors?
No, not
Magic
exactly.
is sad.
Where are the cores?
Magic is sad. Duel Masters.
Psych.
Keep going.
You're a backtardigan.
Backstart. What?
My best friends, the Backtardigans. My name's Tyrone.
Your best friend,
Oh
the backtardigan.
I guess the dice thing give it a unique theme. That's what makes Wrath of Course.
The what?
The dice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not even that is unique. So that's why I would call it sad magic. Is it's this game, and I like his videos. I think a lot for the community. Like, I have a lot of respect for him.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has a great art style, and I think that's a game that
he's not afraid to burp in his videos.
But I personally, for me, not combo masters. Sorry, Cool Kid will not shut up about it, so it keeps popping into my mind. But get out of our chat with combo masters, man. But with Wrath of Kors, it feels like a game you would make and then trash and then make your final product. At least to me. Like, because it has so much potential there. I think the core idea are great. He has great archetypes. He has this nice story built up. I think everything is there, but the gameplay just kind of falls flat for me. Because whenever I play it, I go, I would have, or like, I don't have the most experience playing it, but I've watched a lot of videos. So maybe it's more different if you're really into it. But I don't see why I wouldn't play Magic the Gathering instead. I think it's a very ambitious concept to be that similar to it, and I think he's close. But personally, I feel like that's an issue you can run into is when you're trying to just change a game slightly, and if you do it right, it's great. But I will say Oversoul, I think, did that well. Surprisingly enough, I will say something nice about the game. But
Wow.
I think Wrath of Kors failed to hit that mark, and I feel like it needs to change something there if it wants to get published.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Honestly, a friend of mine, Ursa, he do the videos with me. He came with an idea that is close to what Wrath of Course did, but he actually for what he was telling me, I can actually picture the game and say, okay, this sounds fun, this sounds like a good idea. So I see where you're getting at. I do think there's something missing on his game. So yeah, I see what you're getting at, and the main mechanic with him is the locations,
dice roll.
the terrains, and the
Yeah.
dice thing. But he is like you say, he haven't finished that product. He still needs, and just in case, his mana system is all over the place too. I play his game and I watch some of his videos. I search for the database. His mana system is all over the place. So,
What does that exactly mean?
well, you got cards that are green, and then somehow they mix other colors on it. Cards that do an effect, and then you have cards that another color do the same effect.
Mm.
Uh, so it's like you got a mix of whatever effects you're doing in some other color. So that's what I meant. For certain abilities that should be this color can also do it. And basically that's his game is multicolor deck. It's multicolor magic.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot play a mono deck on Wrath of Course and win. Well, not that I've seen. So
Hmm.
it's multicolor magic, and you have many colors doing many things that shouldn't be doing.
What is his main game? I wonder. Wrath of Course. Is it Magic?
What?
His main game? The main game he likes.
Yeah, I believe it's magic.
Oh.
Why do I feel like the people who come up with the most creative games grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh? I feel like they come
Because
up with
Yu-Gi-Oh changed so
Because
much.
Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
doesn't really have a set theme.
I still
It was
have.
because Yu-Gi-Oh was
more-
fun.
I feel like people
Oh,
who
yeah, it
grew
was.
up with Magic and Pokemon are in a box when they come to how they think about they can make a game. But
Yeah.
Mango and Kirroh, they just they're incredible when it comes to just game design. They just they think outside of the box constantly, and their favorite game is Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, at least I assume.
For me, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is
No,
one
it's
of my.
not.
I have two actually. It's Duel Masters
All right,
and
all right.
Yu-Gi-Oh. But I like Yu-Gi-Oh because of how out of the box, how gimmicky you can be with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
One of my favorite decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, extremely gimmicky. They're called Ghost.
Yes!
I love
Yes!
those.
Oh my god, yes! And Plush Junior, I love those little idiots.
I play Gimmick Puppet. I'm just
Those
kidding.
little ankle biters.
Those little fucking gremlins.
Oh my goodness.
That makes me think of something interesting, though. How many people in our community now, the card game they grew up playing is Chaos Galaxy. That's their exposure to TCGs. And I think
Oh god, poor souls.
No.
that's just
It's-
crazy to me.
It's
Most of the
sad to
people
say,
in
but yeah, that is
TCG
really how it
have-
is.
Yeah.
That shows how successful Zach is, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he's good at
respect the
that.
hustle, but
I do too,
Respect the
man.
hustle.
I just wish he made a better game with the hustle. But
Yeah.
Well,
Animals.
I will say Chaos Galaxy is not going anywhere for a long time.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
It's gonna keep going,
I actually
and
go on his
even
YouTube
though
channel. I haven't seen
you
him in a while.
say what?
see,
I'm going to agree with Orange's previous point, like 40 minutes ago, that Chaos Galaxy probably will not survive past 5 sets.
I won't say it will survive. I will say he will keep doing cards for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for
I-
him, it's
that-
still kind of like a passion
I feel
where
like
he'll just
no.
doesn't
I feel
care
like
if
Zach's
anyone
gonna
doesn't
drop
play it or
Chaos
not.
Galaxy eventually. Like he's just going to
You
make a
think
video.
so?
Like yeah, I think he's gonna make a video eventually. Like I'm fucking tired of it. I'm fucking tired of everybody treating me like shit. My game is the shit. My game is
He
the
like
shit.
has a
and I
hit list
know
of
it.
everyone's ever made fun of him.
If anything, he would be treating his
Oh,
community
fuck.
like
I can't
shit.
believe get on this.
Oh yeah,
Say what?
apparently he said that he is the same guy that made that Vi thing.
That
What?
make what?
The can't believe you've done this.
I don't think so.
That was
Apparently,
him?
Zach said that was him.
It was
no,
Really?
it wasn't.
No.
He said that in
I don't
his
believe
server. I don't think it's
I don't
true.
believe
It's
I think
not.
that was a joke.
All you
I
gotta.
can't believe
But
you've
yeah.
done.
Yeah. No. Possibly a joke.
I think it was just another Tory. But I don't know. I feel like I forgot what I was gonna say.
Thank God. I was waiting.
What?
I was waiting for Slothe to speak up.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He
About
did.
what?
Okay, now go back.
The Chaos Galaxy thing
What?
to Orange.
Yeah. Both Chaos Galaxy. Oh yeah, that's what it's going to be. Just something interesting I find about it is I think his game, because don't get me wrong, I think the reason why Pillars is at the point where I think it's going to get published whenever I get off my ass and work on it, is because of this game. Like that is what got me into creating games for publishing rather than just with my cousins and with my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So Chaos Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I majorly respect it there, and so I know like this
Whether or
whole
not you
fueling.
like it, he's the PewDiePie of the HTCG community.
Yeah,
I feel like.
but the
I feel
problem.
like
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like with Zach, it's kind of like it sounds bad to say this, but I feel like one of the things that made him so popular is that a lot of people, when they see him, they think they can do it better.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can fucking do that shit. We've said that before.
I can see that
I'm
actually. Yeah.
dead certain we've said that on the podcast before.
Yeah, and I think the big issue with that is a lot of people praise him on his art seems approachable, like his game seems like something anyone can make.
Yeah.
But I think that's also an issue because I feel like it set the standards of an HTCG very
There's
low.
an example of this. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
Oh fuck. Okay, Tail Sweet.
Yeah.
I followed them on Instagram.
How many
Now
of them?
go into this because Tail Sweet, I was not in the community this time, so
I was.
Yeah.
Do we go down that rabbit hole?
Not for long.
Yeah.
We'll dip our
I mean,
toes.
we can look at it, but we're not going to go in there. There's a difference.
Like you know the rabbit from Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail?
yeah.
We're not going down that hole.
Also, I see unfamiliar
Tell Sweet.
faces on here. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Yes. Hello, Yoshi Bobs. Hello, Fisheye Games.
Oh.
Chelsea was a guy who think he deserved everything.
That's
what-
not true!
No, that's Mr. Monster.
Shut the fuck up.
Sweet is more of like
He's still
And-
making videos about the Smosh thing, by the way.
Is he
That's
really?
all his content
Oh
is
my
right
goodness.
now. He's
Oh
still
my
milking it.
God.
He's made like his 4th or 5th video on it.
Guys, I'm not associated with Smash.
But
Sweet though. It was
Yeah.
more like he was I don't know what his infatuation with Chaos Galaxy was. I felt like he could be better than him.
Yeah.
And in some way, it seemed like he idolized him, but at the same time,
And hated him for
envied
not
and
like,
hated him.
recognizing him.
Yeah. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's a lot of his fan base, and to a certain extent.
They want to be Zach. They like hate
Yeah.
Zach and want to be Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
feel
could have
like
been you. Like I feel like that's some of his fan bases. I fucking hate this guy. I wish I could have been him if I had just done this before him.
Honestly don't think that's true though. Like,
Really?
he's kept up this grind for so long. I would have given up after the 3 years of not having tons of views because it's a community no one was in.
Yeah.
And
He
because I
almost
remember,
crafted it.
yeah, I remember in middle school, I watched his first videos.
Yeah.
I've been watching him on and off ever since I've been in this, and I feel like he's respected the grind so much, and I think the biggest thing is out of anyone, he thought this was possible for someone to create. Because the big thing is you can buy your cards, but this is the first time I've seen you can open a booster pack of your card game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else had the same sort of vision he did back then.
Exactly.
I certainly didn't.
Like,
Uh,
you've got to have resilience
Wanted
and
Striker
a
did.
real passion for your game to be able to
Whatever
do this
happened to
game.
Tribe Striker?
Tribe Striker.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry,
have no
Goldie.
clue. He was the guy who introduced me to Chaos Galaxy through his videos.
He what?
Wanted Striker, he was the person who he was the guy who put Zach on. Like, back then he had 800 subscribers and Zach had 200. And he was the one who pushed Zach as a HTCG creator. Way back when.
Dang.
And another thing is, even though Chaos Galaxy is not, the greatest, Zach actually
Yeah.
got charisma.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he's standing
He
in
does,
front of the
yeah.
camera, he knows he
No,
can actually sell
Yeah.
you, that.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have that shit. I
Me
do
neither.
not.
Believe
Oh,
me.
I know.
I'm like the Corey extension of this community. You know how long ago I posted a video, and I'm still gaining subscribers. Jesus Christ!
But I think, I don't know, it is weird because I do think the way he approaches a lot of his tutorials holds back the community in a way.
Yeah.
And I plan on
Yeah.
doing a video about
Like the
that in
naming
the
thing.
future. Especially, and this is the thing I cannot get out. His template, I think, ruined so much. I think the template is the worst part about the game, and just the way his game is
Yeah.
crafted. I think because it looks like Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
and I think that right there is a problem. In the sense of
kind of a generation of people who just copy that kind of template.
yeah.
Yeah, but I
To
think that's actually what he wants. It's like, you like Yu-Gi-Oh? Come on, play my game. It's
Yeah.
very similar.
Yeah.
To
But-
me, his game looks like Yu-Gi-Oh mixed with the kindergartner's macaroni art. To be honest, that's what the
Oh,
template kind of
yeah.
Mango.
They're all
Mango.
idiots. They should have made a circle
I actually
right in
used to
the.
hate his art style, but now I kind of
the
like
fuck
it. I
up,
feel like there's a certain charm to it. Because back then I used to be very elitist with my art. No, art has to look like this. But yeah, I actually really like Zach's art. I feel like it's gotten better.
I do too. It's appealing.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he can draw a lot better because he mentioned he got into the best art in UK.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just
Yeah.
the approach he wants to take Chaos Galaxy.
Yeah.
Is down this
Yeah.
homemade trading card game approach
But
instead of
actually,
doing a
It
more
is-
intense kind of thing.
yeah, it is the it is the formula that actually works for him. So why change
Yeah.
it?
Why change it? Exactly.
Yeah.
Just in
Yeah.
case, the guy who introduced me to the HTCG was
Was
actually
he-
Chris from Wrath of Course. I didn't know about Chaos Galaxy until I was on the HTCG and everybody was talking about him.
For me, it was Cards at Home.
You mean the guy with the nothing face?
The one that looks like Draco kid from Harry Potter.
Draco Malfoy.
Who
That
likes
guy,
Harry
yeah.
Potter? What a nerd.
He's the one who got me into HTC. I talk to him whenever I can. Oh, yeah, he's pretty cool, dude. He's still working on Resolution Breakers. He's working on it slowly. I feel like though that his game might have a curse where it's like he works on it and then he has to redo the set because he's already done like
Yeah.
like 3 times now. And I'm hoping that's not a curse. I hope that this time is the last time and that he
Yeah.
just goes for it.
I wonder if he is actually playtesting his game because I've been a long time.
Resolution Breaker?
I wanted to playtest his game for a long time, and I can't. Every time I try to go on the Game Crafter, the game change. So
I mean, I know how to play it vaguely. I can teach you what I can remember. Like it's not
no,
like he
that's
changes
the
the
thing.
game a little bit, but it's
Basically,
not
yes,
not
that's what I meant.
huh?
I know the game change again, so it's not that I have anything against you, but if I would want somebody to teach me, it would be him.
You know what? I'm leaving. I don't need this. I do not need this. No, screw.
Oh, we
Well,
really live.
our favorite
Anyway,
member's
we all know
gone.
the best TCG is
There you go.
Fusion Tale.
I forgot my
Fusion
purse.
Tale. Now that's a game. Have you ever played Pokemon but LGBTQ?
Didn't
Fusion
didn't-
Tale.
I forgot his name.
Have you ever wished that Executor had a strap on?
Did you ever wish
Are we
Pikachu
talking
rolled
about-
into a
are we
hot
talking about
topic and
PvP
met
right
mimic
now?
you?
I am very happy it's not around for this stage of the
No, it
Like,
wasn't.
hold on. Has anyone actually really played it?
I haven't.
Like
I
was it
can't
literal
hate.
Pokemon?
I genuinely can't hate. Like
I think his game didn't sell at all the second set. I mean, at least until he got out of the community. Because
See,
I
the
know
thing with
afterward it sells, but
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
don't think the game sells while he was in the community.
I think the thing with the community is that he expected people to just like throw themselves at him rather than actually going out grinding. Like, hey, yo, little kid, you want to try these drugs? You know what I mean?
But why would you sell an 18 plus
yeah.
card game on a
Yeah.
community where
Heavily
everyone is
eliminated.
17? Yeah.
Heavily limited. Fuck!
Eliminated.
Thinking about that,
Add that to the quotes.
I probably shouldn't have done that either.
Did you make
Why?
an 18?
Your game wasn't, the Bizarre game wasn't, that bad.
Well,
It
yeah,
wasn't that
I'm
good.
well aware. However, there are some things in the game, like the fetus with like
Nobody cares about the fetus.
Antichrist crosses on it.
Nobody cares about that in today's.
And then my game
Yeah,
has
I know, but like the youngins are gonna be like,
Probably like something
Nah,
you'd
probably
say
one
in
word
better times,
parents,
anyway.
Hey, mommy, look at this.
fair.
You need a space or a hyphen.
Nice and nice.
Hey guys, look in
Very nice.
regular chat, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
We what?
Better not be posting porn.
But
Can we get an Alpha Wookiees quotes channel?
Just in case, Alpha Wookie.
Have you ever wished Executor had a strap?
I don't even know if that's how you spell hyphen.
It's Executor.
Executor.
Executor with egg.
Just call him Wavito.
Yes.
And that's probably not even how you spell it.
Alpha Wookie, you said your game is running.
Yeah, it runs. It's been play tested. Kirroh doesn't think that it's sad magic like I say it is.
If it's running, then you
Like
better
this,
go
this-
catch it.
Shut the fuck up. It's a free spirit. I let it.
I would love to
Can I
learn your
play
game.
test it at some point?
Yeah, sure.
Stay-
Just know that it's sad magic. But like how you're hella proud of your mana system, I'm kind of proud of my mana system too. I created this aspect of it called the altar, and it was a complete overhaul of the mana system that we had originally created. And instead, what it is at the somewhere in your turn, you can play a monster onto your altar, and from that point on, it's a sacrifice to the gods. And on the right-hand corner, there's a mana symbol that tells you how much natural resource a creature has. Not only can they tap for that mana to only be spent for it on their card, but they can also that's how much mana they produce on the altar. So at the beginning of each of your turns, depending on how many creatures are on your altar, that's how much mana of that faction is produced. But when you use that mana, it goes bye-bye. It goes away forever. So it's a transient thing, but it sticks around. So like you can pile up mana by like waiting a couple turns. So the problem with getting mana screwed isn't really that big of a deal, because if you don't have enough mana to cast a big creature, you just wait a couple turns and the mana piles up and you can.
Alright, sounds like Chaos Galaxy. We
Literally
sacrificing
never
a
played Chaos
creature.
Galaxy.
We sacrificing a
Damn.
creature. Instead of gaining stars, you just sacrifice a creature, and that's how you gain your stars. That's how it sounds.
I'm pretty proud of my mana system too. It's very original.
Yo, shut up.
I like
Okay,
mine.
Boomer.
Do you
Your
know?
game is basically Vanguard and Magic when it comes to the mana system.
Me?
But that's
What,
what I love about it.
I didn't even have a mana system until I wrote a book.
Oh, you
Not
have a
even
mana
gonna
system
lie,
now.
my mana
Yeah,
system is
so
literally
now
Chaos
I
now
need to
I've
play test yours too.
yeah, now I've made it where when you start the game, your pillars are designated. So you can only play cards of your pillar's color. So until you play a green pillar, you can't play green if you're running a blue deck.
Oh,
Because I didn't want to have the Chaos Galaxy problem. Everybody has a Pelfam in their deck,
okay.
and it doesn't matter that it's of a different planet. But I also don't. I think games like Hearthstone is bad, where it's only limited to one faction per
Yeah,
deck.
exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to avoid. I wanted a consistent mana system, but I wanted something that was color alliance oriented, that you could create different combinations of different colors.
Because double color is the most fun way to make decks.
Yeah, exactly. So. Combining two strategies to make a new one.
Well, then just bring Rogue and Hearthstone.
What?
Like triple colored decks are becoming a thing in my game, and it's kind of scary.
That's gross.
Why not just stick to double?
Why not just play
Honestly.
frogs?
Yes, yes.
Play mono. Play
Because
mono.
there are frogs on two colors.
The frog.
How about play frog on top of frog on top of frog?
How about we play Bizarre Nature?
How about we play some Pizzazz?
Nobody's ever said.
How about we
before.
play some Quest?
I don't think Bizarre is playable at this stage.
I don't think Bizarre.
It is, however, there
You
is
play
no
with
art
the pet
even.
store
for some cards.
archetype.
And I don't know. I think after this, I might work on it again, because honestly,
Yo,
after
if you
hearing
never
you guys
work on
talk about your
Bizarre
progress
Nature
and
again-
shit, it's like, huh.
I literally never want to do this podcast again if this is making you want to make your game.
Oh well, shit.
Honestly, no, honestly, if you never work on Pizzazz again, dude,
hold
just
on,
give me-
pause.
just
Cool
give
kid,
me
when the
Biz-
fuck did I say
give
my
me
kink is to
Kate
stick my
something ugly, I
balls in a
wanna
bowl
use
of
it.
cornflakes?
You did know.
Well, just now.
The fuck? When did I say that?
Just now.
Besides now.
I'm gonna get my sketchbook. I'm
I
gonna
think that
start
was like
sketching.
5 days
Bye-bye.
ago. It was recent.
Like,
Oh,
everything's all fair game, but I don't think I said that.
I am back. Hello.
That sounds like
Hell
something
yeah.
Moz would have forged.
I don't know. It had balls on you on the sentence, so I believe it.
so let me ask you guys something, okay? So like in your mind, like what is your ideal game that you want, but you feel like you won't be able to really make, if that makes any sense?
Let's make this the last topic, and then we can wrap up the podcast for the night.
I mean, there's
Alright.
I think we should address Matthew Lebovitz's question.
Okay. What's that? So CG is too relaxed in terms of what colors you can play. Hearthstone is too strict. So how do you guys feel about the sort of randomness of Magic the Gathering colors? Now I know everybody's got a problem with getting mana screwed, but in my opinion, if you want to do what Magic does with their colors, land is the perfect system for that. Not necessarily perfect as in like it works 100% of the time, but it's the best way to establish that.
Yeah. And then, like in my game, because you only have 4 pillars and you can so access to one color with my current mana system, which still needs playtesting. But because of that, it's still like you can play whatever colors you want, but I feel like you definitely need to be able to nerf it in that aspect. So, like in Magic, if you have only islands in your deck, you don't have to worry about mana screw too much. But once you add in a few colors, even just one, that's when you start to lose due to that. So, like, I feel like doing that Magic way, like Alpha Wookie said, is the best way to do that.
I would like to
There
say
is.
that I think. Oh, you can go.
Kirroh, you've talked like the least out of anybody, even Slothe.
Yeah.
Yeah, give Kirroh a slot real quick. You good? Oh no. Am I crashing?
What'd you say?
Oh, my my OBS was crashing for a second. Continue if you were talking. I haven't heard half of it, but continue. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. I think that's the end of the podcast, guys. Everything is crashing. No. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, you can only hear bros because the Discord crashed on me. I know. Fucking hell. Yeah. They can only hear me right now. Oh, this sucks. I think we may be lingering on the end of the podcast here, guys. Oh my gosh. Well, this is super sad. I'm really sorry about this tonight, guys. I wanted this to be a special number 10 podcast. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for everybody for watching. We're happy to be here in these times during the coronavirus. We're happy to be here, just to... And when everybody else is lonely, it's nice to hear a voice, and I'm glad that we could be something for everybody here. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being supporters of the podcast. We're going to be trying to upload more frequently, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm Alpha Wookie. Thank you, Kai, for being on the podcast. Thank you, Orange, for being on the podcast. And I will see you. This is the end. Good night, everybody.